Friends, hold on, wait. Do you remember that pot holder video I did that went absolutely crazy? Well, y'all asked for more pot holder fun. And friends, do I have some surprises for you today? I'm going to take some more Dollar Tree pot holders and make 7 different things with them. They're super easy, they're budget friendly, and they totally look expensive, and they're useful. So grab your glue, grab your pot holders, and get ready for some crazy pants fun, because we are going to do some awesome stuff with some pot holders today. Thanks so much for being here. Now let's get to those projects. Okay, friends, first up, we are going to make an adorable little holder for your phone or your iPad or your recipe card, so you can do hands-free recipe reading, or just set your stuff on it and, have easy reading without having to hold your phone. I'm just saying. But it was super fun, super easy. I used 2 pot holders for that. So let me show you what we did with it. Let's make a phone holder or a recipe card holder out of these Dollar Tree pot holders. So for this project, we're going to use both of these pot holders. I also have these, I have split peas. Are you kidding me? I dropped them everywhere. So bad. You could use rice. You could use any of those little pellet things. And I also used a little bit of fiberfill. Let me clean that up. Okay, back to it. All right, so I have these pot holders. Again, I got them from Dollar Tree. You could use any pot holders. We're going to put them pretty sides out. Then I'm going to clip them. Now listen, I had to pivot with this particular project because my sewing machine just wasn't having it. So I'll just show you how I did it. So I clipped it. So you'll see I do 2 clips on the top. I did those 2 clips on the side a little bit farther apart. And those were basically to remind me where not to sew. So we're going to sew here, and then we're going to sew all along the bottom. So basically we're going to do like a tube on the bottom. See that? And then we have a big pocket on the top. Does that make sense? Perfect. Okay, so first thing is you could fill this little tube part, or you could put a dowel in it or something like that. I'll be honest with you, I chose not to do anything with it because it worked just fine for me. But if you wanted to, you could do further. Then I'm going to fill my pocket part with the lentils or the split peas or the rice or whatever you're using. It's just to make it nice and sturdy. So there's that. And then I'm going to put my fiberfill in with that as well. You don't want to overfill it because then you won't be able to close the top. Now, again, I was originally planning on sewing this. It did not work out for me because my sewing machine was like, yeah, no, I don't think so, ma'am. That's too much for me. Whatever. But maybe some of you brilliant people would be able to do it. I chose to not lose my piece over it. And I clipped it all. So you see here, all I'm doing is I'm clipping those centers so that it goes straight across. Does that make sense? So then all I did was get my hot glue gun out. Yeah, I did. Could we have used fabric hot glue? I suppose if I had some. But we're problem solvers, and I just use regular hot glue. Now I put a bead of hot glue on the inside, a little bit away from the edge so it didn't spill out, and then I squeezed it and held it. Now you're going to be tempted to let it go. Don't. You want to hold on to it until it is set, because if you don't, it's going to start pulling because it's got all of that stuffing in it that's going to encourage it to separate. So just be patient. Hold on to it. Make sure that it's really set before you let it go. And I did that all across and on the other side. And then in the center, I also put more hot glue and I squeezed, like I really pushed it together and held it there. Could you use clamps or whatever? I suppose you could. My concern was that I was going to pour out the top and then adhere my clamp to my little thing. So I just held it and there it is. I let it dry and adorable, right? Yes, I pivoted because it was going to go in the garbage. And then here we have my iPad and look, it fits and it works. And I bet a little book would work good on that. My iPhone also works on it. I love it. Yes, I know I have a cover on my iPad. It's fine. It's fine. But look at how cute it is. And it's useful. And it didn't cost us a ton. And we learned some cool lessons. So basically, for under $2, we just made a super useful, super adorable little tool that we could use either for recipe stuff or for just setting our phone on. I'm not mad. Anyways, coming up next, we are going to make a hanging kitchen towel. Now listen, I know
we've all seen them, and I've made them myself often. But I always get questions on, can I do an actual no-sew alternative? Because up to this point, we have always had to sew that button on. Well, friends, coming up next, we are going to make one that is completely no-sew and adorable. I can't wait for you to see it.
You asked, and of course I had to figure it out. We're going to make a no-sew hanging towel, but this one is really no-sew. The star of this show is the Fabric Fusion Instafuse. I also have some ribbon. I have a set of pot holders and a towel. I also have my little mini iron and some parchment paper. So what I'm going to do is just take all of the tags off. I'm then going to get this ribbon. I got this ribbon at Dollar Tree. I'm going to use, I'm going to say like 10-inch long pieces. You could make them smaller. I like making them longer, and if I want to cut them down, I have that option. But if you cut them too short, you don't have any options, right? So I just did 4 strips, 10 inches long each. Then what I did was I just took a lighter and just hit the ends with it a little bit just so they don't fray. Then I have this Aleene's Fabric Fusion. It's Instafuse, and I do a little dollop on each area where I want to attach these ribbons. So one on each corner of our pot holder on the pretty side. I know some of you are like, why would you do it the pretty side? Because I wanted the outside to be black. But if you wanted this side, whatever side you want pointing out, do on the other side the straps, okay? So then I add my ribbons to each of the pieces of glue that we put on there. And we have 4. Could you do less? I suppose, but I liked 4 because it seemed to work well. So there's that. Then I'm going to cover it with some parchment paper. Do you have to do this part? No, but I didn't want to ruin my iron or have to clean it. So there you go. And then I'm going to go over each one, and I held it there for about 30 seconds each. And then I'm going to go to the next one. You just want to make sure that you don't scorch your fabric or your ribbon. So you could move your iron a little bit just to make sure that doesn't happen. I found I didn't have to with these. So again, each little strip, 30 seconds each. Take off your parchment paper, let it cool. If you try to pull those ribbons off right now, it is going to completely come off. Let it cool. Once it's cool, it's on there, and I mean on there. Then I'm going to take my towel and I'm going to open it up. We have pretty side up. See where that crease is, where it was folded? What we're going to do is fold our pot holder in half, and then we're going to add a bead of that Fabric Fusion Instafuse all along that crease. Again, whichever way you want it to be facing out, you're going to fold it and you're going to add that bead of Instafuse. Now we're going to add that right to the center. Am I being perfect about it? No. Then you're going to let it open. Ta-da. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to flip it over. The reason why is because you're going to get more heat contact doing it this side than you would going from the pot holder side. Does that make sense? So then I add my parchment paper, and then we go and add heat. Again, 30 seconds. I did move my iron around a little bit just so that it didn't scorch. And here it is. Again, you want to let it cool. Once it's cool, I find that this is such a strong bond. It's wild. I am folding my towel just so that it looks pretty. And look at this. Are you kidding me? We have 2 ties on the top that would tie to whether you're tying it to your oven handle or if you're tying it to your fridge. But look at how cute this is. Are you kidding? And it's on there. It is on there. I'm so excited. I got to be honest. I'm obsessed. This is my favorite way to do it now. I love it. It's so much fun.
I gotta be honest. I think I prefer the no-sew version now. I think that's what I'm going to start doing from now on. Yeah, I'm obsessed. It's okay. It's fine. Let me know in the comments, which way do you prefer? Do you prefer the sew version or the no-sew version? Let me know. All right. So, and hey, while I have you here, hi. If you haven't already, would you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any of the Crazy Pants DIY fun? All right, let's get back to it. Coming up next, we are going to make the most easy and adorable little tray to hold your trinkets in. We can use it for our desk, we can use it for crafts, or we can use it on our nightstand. So many options, and it's adorable. And did I mention it was easy? Yeah, it's easy.
we're going to make a trinket tray. For this project, we're going to use these little brads. I'd gotten mine on clearance. You could use almost any of them or different colors. I have my crocodile. You could also use the big one, up to you. And then I also have a Dollar Tree pot holder. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to put a little clip. These are just little sewing clips, and I'm going to put it on each corner. Then we're going to open it up, and then we're going to meet the ends. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Put another clip on each corner. Friends, you are going to be so excited when you see how easy this is. And the crocodile just makes it so much easier. I'm just saying. Could you use another thing to, like cut a hole, I suppose, but this is the easiest way. So here we are. So now what I'm going to do is go back over, and I'm going to use my clips again, and I'm just folding over each of the little parts in between our clips. We're going to fold over those. Do you have to? No. But I like it. I think it looks better. So we just clip each of those. And you see it's now like a little square. Adorable, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is where we clipped it, see how I'm going to put my crocodile on. We're going to use, so there's two different sizes. I'm using the smaller of the two. You have to, whatever you're using, whether it's a brad, a grommet, a button, whatever, you want to make sure that the hole is small enough so that the head of it doesn't go through. Does that make sense? So all I'm doing right now is putting this on the fabric, both pieces, right? Both thickness. And then I'm just popping a hole. Yes, the crocodile goes through fabric and it's awesome. Now I'm going to take a brad. That's what these are called, right? Yeah, they're brads. And then I'm going to pop it through, and then I'm going to make sure that when you how you have to spread it apart, I just want to make sure that where it spreads apart goes in line with the pot holder. Done. Pull them apart and ta-da. Right? Like so easy. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And you're going to do that on each of the points, right? Here, I'm going to show you again. We have that point. We had the clip on it. We put the crocodile on it. Pop a hole in that corner. Then we're going to add our brad again. And then we're going to open it up and it is adhered. Again, you're going to do that on each of the corners. So you have 4 of those. Again, you could use grommets if you wanted for these, eyelets for these. You could use buttons, whatever you want. But look there it is. Ta-da! They're adorable. Then I'm going to go those parts where I had folded them down. I'm going to get my crocodile out again. We're going to, where I had it clipped, pop a hole. It's so easy. And I found the handheld crocodile was easier to do this than it was to do the other one, so that you could actually see where you're going to be putting the hole. And I put a grommet in that one. We're going to, spread out those prongs on the back and do that all the way around. And there it is. Look, it's got a little hook you can hold, you can hang it up if you wanted. But look, I'm using it on my craft desk to put my little clips in, or more importantly, my wood beads, so they're not flying all over my desk when I'm working on stuff. But look how cute. I have one on my desk. I have paper clips in it. You could put rings in it, or trinkets, or whatever. I mean, stop. You could even put potpourri in it if you wanted and use it as a piece for decor, right? Oh, so much fun. So many options. And it was from a Dollar Tree pot holder. You're welcome.
Come on, that was so easy and adorable and useful. I have many. I made multiple. I got to be honest. I made multiple. I have one on my desk to hold all of my little tiny paper clips and whatnot. But I also have one on my craft table where it holds all of my wood beads or my little clips for sewing. They were so easy. I love them. And you could do a variety of things. You could use grommets. You could use brads. You could use buttons. So many options. But anyways. Coming up next, we are going to get cozy and we're going to make some adorable little coasters because okay, listen, you know who I am. I can't do a project series without trying to sneak in some coasters. Well, these coasters are way different than I usually make, and I think they might be my favorite. We're going to make some mug rugs.
It's almost cozy season, friends. We have got to make something adorable and cozy for our coffee cups. Yep, that's right. We're going to make some mug rugs. All right, so I have some Dollar Tree fabric. I also have, these are backs from projects that I had done before that I had taken the fronts off of these pot holders, and now I have the back. So what I'm going to do is take my fabric, put it, I'm just trying to gauge what size fabric I need and the pattern where I want it placed. And so all I'm doing is just making little rectangles out of the fabric. And I didn't even cut down our pot holders. I'm just using them as they are. So all I did was fold my fabric into the size that I wanted. And now I'm just cutting it on the folds. Is it the right way to do it? I'm sure somebody's going to tell me no. Did it get the job done? I did. So sometimes done is better than perfect, friends. I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be perfect. For these, we don't have to get crazy, okay? We don't have to make it all perfect. It's because of the nature of it, it's like scrappy. It's not going to be a big deal, okay? So I have 4 pieces of fabric and 4 backs of pot holders. Now we're going to put our fabric and our pot holder together, pretty sides on the outside, yucky sides meeting. Does that make sense? And I'm going to do X marks the spot. I'm going to sew them and just do X in the center. You could do it however you want. I just did an X. Then I go back once I've sewn it and I mark. I just want to square them up, right? I just want to make them nice and straight. So that's what I did here. I used my gel erasable pen and I just made straight lines so that I knew where to cut and cut each of them out so that they were somewhat even. You know, I can't cut a straight line, so they're not perfect. Then once you have that done, I go and I cut little cuts all around it. They're probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch wide and deep. Okay. And you're going to go, it doesn't really matter. You just want them thin enough so that they kind of get scrappy, if that makes sense. Then once you get to the very end, see how I go to the very end and then the other side, it's going to cut a little notch out of it. And it's the same size as all of the other, slices that you're doing. Just keep going all the way around. And then in each corner, you're going to have that little notch. So easy. Like this is so easy. I love it. Then I'm going to go back to my sewing machine and do a border all the way around just so that those cuts don't continue any further, right? Ta-da. Next, I just misted each of the edges of my pot holder. And now I'm rubbing it really firmly with my hand. And the reason why is because that pot holder, the stuffing, for whatever reason, likes to disintegrate. So I am just getting it all out. And in the process, I'm also fraying everything and making it look even more distressed. Now, will these be washable? Absolutely. But you might want to put them in like a pillowcase for the first few times so that they don't shed everywhere. But look at how cute. What? They are adorable. Like, oh, come on. You know, I love me a coaster anyway, but to do this, oh, Lordy, you could give them as gifts. You could, oh, come on. So many options. I love them.
Was that not fun? Yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with mug rugs now. And then I thought, after I made them, I thought, they're so easy. You could make a set for yourself and then you could make some as gifts. Wait, stay with me. Make them as gifts and you can even give them singly and then add like a coffee house gift card with it. Wouldn't that be amazing? It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Anyways, coming up next, another super easy project and useful. This one is going to hold all of your small tools like crochet hooks or pens or X-Acto knife or that kind of stuff. Super easy, and I'm so excited for you to see how it came out.
If your little tools or scissors or pens get lost in your drawer, I've got a solution. We're going to make a super easy little mini tool holder. And for this, we're going to need a pot holder and your glue gun. That's it. I know. So I'm going to take my pot holder and I'm going to make it into a triangle, corner to corner. Okay. Then I have the little loop on the back. Then we're going to take it. This is so easy. Then we're going to take it and fold it again. Fold it again. There it is, right? So you can see it building, right? So all I'm going to do is take my hot glue and glue this bottom edge. Now I put the hot glue a little bit further in so that it doesn't seep out when I press it together. So that's what we're going to do here is just press it. You are going to be tempted to just stop and not hold it. Just hold it until it seals, okay? Until the glue dries. Then we're going to fold it again. And we're going to go right to that edge. Ta-da! Same exact process, right? We're going to put some hot glue right on the edge, just on the other side of that black binding. I'm using a Ryobi, which if anybody knows a Ryobi hot glue gun, the glue is like lava. So if yours isn't, you might not have to hold it as long. But for me, I felt like I was holding it for, goodness, 3 to 5 business days. It took a long time to set, but it was worth it because if you don't, it's going to pop apart. So there's that. Adorable, right? Come on. This is so easy. And it is such a cool solution because I don't know about you, but my X-Acto knife gets stuck in my drawer or in a cup and I can't find it easy. I mean, look at what? It's got a little holder a little hook so we can hang it. And then let me show you how it works. Let me get out all of my little accoutrements. So I have my wee little scissors and it fits in that. So we have 3 pockets here. We have that middle one. We have the very end one, which you could put a regular pair of scissors in if you wanted. Flip them over and they fit even better. And then I have my X-Acto knife fits perfect right in that first little pocket. But oh my goodness, would this not be perfect for crochet hooks, markers, pens? I mean, goodness gracious, right? Look at how fun this is. You could even use it for chopsticks or straws, or the sky's the limit. And it was so easy. It cost next to nothing. I mean, seriously, I am so pleased. I love it.
Seriously, how easy was that? With hot glue. It's awesome. Anyways, and you know the nice thing now, I don't have to rummage through my drawer to find my X-Acto knife or my little scissors or a certain pen that I love. Now I have them all in that little holder and it has a hook on it. So now I can just hang it on my desk. It works out so well for me. I hope you're going to try it and it'll work out well for you too. All right, coming up next, we're going to get a little fall with it and we're going to make a super pretty sign. But this one has a twist because it's going to be super useful too. So pretty and useful? Yes, please and thank you.
Are you ready to make a super pretty sign out of this Dollar Tree pot holder? But this one has a twist. It's going to be a cute little message center. I can't wait for you to see. All right, so we have some Dixie Belle chalk paint. I also have some brown wax. I have this cute little pumpkin pot holder. I have some big cinnamon sticks, also from Dollar Tree. I have some florals from Michael's, and I have a wood round that I had gotten from Dollar Tree as well. Perfect. So what we're going to do first is take apart our pot holder. Words are hard. Love me through it. Then I'm going to take a dampened sponge and that wax, and I'm just going to wipe it all over that wooden round. I love it. I think, it picks up all of the grain of the wood. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Again, I dampened my sponge. You don't have to if you didn't want to, but just go over all of it. I did the front and the back because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm not sure which side looks better. So I do both sides just to see if I have options. I like having options. So there it is. Then I wipe it down with a paper towel or a napkin just so that it dries. Then I take my chalk paint. This happens to be an off-white, and I put it on the scrubby side of that, and I'm just going all around the wood round just to kind of make it look more distressed. If this isn't your jam, don't do it, okay? But you know it's mine. I love it. I love that distressed vibe. Then I'm going to take my Hello Pumpkin pot holder, and I'm just going to glue down the little loop. Then I'm going to I'm just going to hot glue it onto our sign, making sure that it is lined up with the jute holder holes, okay? Then I have this paper wrapped jute. I'm just going to wrap it around a dowel to make some tendrils, and I wrapped that around a piece of our cinnamon stick. Ta-da! Perfect. Then I'm going to put a little bit more hot glue in the center of our pot holder on the sign part. And then I'm going to put my cinnamon stick in that so it looks like a little stem. Look how cute it is. Now you can stop right there. I mean, that's adorable right there. I don't care who you are. But I'm going to go further and add some florals. And I'm just going to put them kind of like a swag at the top. So right now I'm just arranging them like how I would like them to be in the swag. So I'm just building it, right? And I just keep taking it apart of the stem and just keep adding it. Once I have it all added together, I take a piece of wired jute. You could use wire if you wanted. You don't have to use wired jute. I just happen to have a little piece of it lying around on my desk. But then I'm just going to wrap it in the center so that the swag is all together. And then I kind of arrange it. I added some hot glue, though you could staple it. That would make it a little bit more secure. You could staple it to your wood round. I glued it. Then I add some more little flowers that I took off of the main stem and just glued them in the center so that you don't see where I wrapped that little swag. And I just added 3 or 4 of them. It's just to cover the center, just so it looks a little bit more put together. Ta-da! Love it. Then I'm going to add a little, I thought it needed a little more, so we added just a little piece of fake leaves to the top, and look at how cute. And okay, I think I messed it up a little bit here when I added some Spanish moss. Probably didn't need that part, but that's okay. But look at, we're going to make it a message center. You could put a pen and a little message pad in the pocket, hang it on your door, and then if somebody missed you, they could write a little note, or you could hang it in your kitchen and make a little note of what you need for you going out to the store. I mean, come on. Super fun, right?
Wasn't that so much fun? I just love combining pretty and useful. Anyways, last project is coming. Yay for you. Or sorry, either way. Coming up next, we are going to make a pot holder wreath. Now, before you get crazy and think, oh my gosh, all those pot holders and they're all wasted. They're not. I love a low commitment craft, and this one you can still use the pot holders, which I think would make a really cool gift if you were doing like a housewarming gift or something. You give this and now they've got like 7 different pot holders they could just clip off and use. Come on, that is so much fun. Anyways, friends, I can't wait for you to see how it came out.
Get ready, friends. We're going to get crazy with some pot holders and make a wreath. But friends, we'll be able to still use the pot holders. Don't worry. For this project, I'm going to use some zip ties. Many of them. Got them at Dollar Tree. I also have this wire wreath. It's like a wheel almost from Dollar Tree as well. And then I have all of these pot holders. I have 7 packages of pot holders. I know. Don't get crazy though. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fun. All right, so I take them apart, and here we have our pot holder. I am going to fold it to make it like a cone, okay? Ta-da! There it is. Now I refolded it so that that little loop was on the inside. Make it into a cone. Now we're going to take a zip tie, and we're going to tie it to, I don't want to say the very center, but you want to do closer to the inside than the outside because we want to hide it because we're going to do something later to hide all this. So then we're just going to zip it down. Just zip it. And this is the one case you could say zip it and you're not being mean. Anyways, you're going to do this all the way around. You're going to make a little cone, then you're going to zip tie it and go all the way around, see? And I'm making sure that the zip tie actually, the nub for it kind of goes in between the two, just so that it isn't sticking out, if that makes sense. So see, we're gonna, and you wanna make sure you get them on there nice and tight. Perfect. And then go all the way around. So fun. This was such a fun project. I didn't think that I could do it without compromising the pot holders, but I did. Listen, you know who I am. I have commitment issues, and anytime I can do a project where I'm not ruining the materials so that it's not as risky, right? Like I can be a little bit more creative and not worry about having to ruin everything, and I didn't waste anything. So that's why this was super fun for me. So see, we did this all the way around. Ta-da! Look at them all. How fun. There were, I think, 12 little rungs. Then you go back through and just trim all of your ends from your zip ties. I could have done this earlier. It doesn't matter when you do it. I just happen to do it now. So there's that. Now I'm going to take my pot holders and I'm just going to pull them by the point. Just pull them to make sure that they're really in there. And they are. Hooray. Then I'm going to take a burner cover. I know it's crazy, but we have a burner cover and I'm going to pop 4 holes in it. I'm also going to take another pot holder and I'm just going to remove the seams and just get it to that image. I traced a circle and then with my pinking shears cut it out so that we have a decorative circle. We want it just a little bit smaller than your burner cover. Then with my crocodile, I popped 4 holes. You could use a drill, I suppose. It doesn't have to be a crocodile, but it makes it so much easier. Then I take my zip ties and I put them so that they are through and smooth on the front, and then we can attach that to our wreath. So see how I have those little ends hanging out? Then we're going to go and flip our wreath over and pull through the zip ties and get them nice and tight. This was so much fun. I was so excited that this worked out. I was so happy. I keep thinking this would make a great gift for somebody like, if they just got a new house or something. How fun. Then I'm going to take some Mod Podge and I'm going to add it to the center, and then I'm going to add our little cutout, and that's it. Are you kidding? Now, keep in mind too, that's metal. So you could put little magnets on that. What? And if they wanted to use the pot holders, all you got to do is snip the zip tie and you have a new pot holder. What? And they all say live in the moment. How fun, right? Anyways, friends, thanks so much for watching, and I hope this inspires you.
Well, there you have it. 7 easy, budget-friendly, and super useful pot holder hacks that I hope you're going to try, because holy Toledo, I had a blast making them. As always, let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. And of course, did I miss the mark? And if so, what would you have done different? Friends, don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the Crazy Pants DIY fun. Friends, thank you so much for being here. And until next time.